Greetings, YouTube land, and welcome back again to another Halloween edition here on the Horror Globe. I'm Falagar. I just thought I'd do a video here of just some Halloween titles, or not necessarily maybe considered horror titles, but titles that you may want to hit during this Halloween season. These are titles that, and I'm trying to go with stuff that maybe are things that you might want to give a second chance to, or like titles that you may overlook and not even consider as being a horror title, or something that you might want to watch in your Halloween rotation. But I really uh, recommend these titles, and suggest that you do hit them for Halloween, and you just make a fine addition to it. Oh, and by the way, the date is still what did I just say? Oh yeah, September 21st, 2014, and it is now 3:18 in the afternoon. I got my orange juice. Okay, so yeah, let's get started, shall we? Okay, so where to begin? I got a bunch of stuff out here too. Okay, so um, yeah, okay. So I got three titles here that is that what is this one? Okay, yeah, three titles here that you may not think would fit the bill for Halloween. Something that you would watch, but they kind of go into two categories. One of them is like thriller slash horror, believe it or not, and the other two would probably fall more in the I guess the fantasy, medieval, and sword and sorcery slash horror genre. Okay, so let's start with the thriller one. It is a Darren Aronofsky film. It stars Natalie Portman, Vincent Cassel, and Mila Kunis in Black Swan. I absolutely loved this film. Some folks didn't care for it. They just don't like Darren Aronofsky's style. Yeah, he's a little weird, when he directs, but I kind of like it. And this one is a really good one to watch. It's about Natalie Portman, who is an aspiring dancer, and then she meets with this rival, Mila Kunis' character, and Vincent Cassel is the dance instructor. And you're wondering, how can this be horror? Well, she starts going through these psychological changes that go through her mind that Natalie Portman does, and it kind of makes her see things that she can't really be too sure if it's really happening or if it's just all in her head. And she sees these really freaky, weird things, and especially that final act in the film when she's taking on both form of Black Swan and I think it's White Swan. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Um, is just tremendous, and the physical changes that happen to her face and her body. Yeah, there are some horrific images in this, so give this one a watch during Halloween, and just in general, just it's a good film. Okay. Okay, and next up is James Purefoy and Solomon Kane. This is a sword and sorcery film, but there's horror elements in here because he's fighting against the devil, especially in that opening scene when he has this little duel with the devil. It's very brief. It probably lasts for like 5 seconds, but it's a really powerful, scary scene. And what the devil wants is his soul, and he has to try to, for his life of crime and villainy, because he's a pirate. So then he tries to atone for all this by trying to do good things. And there are just some, horrific characters in here. And there's a twist with one of the characters, and I believe it's this character here in the back. And he, unto himself, is a pretty scary character. So yeah, Solomon Kane is one to give it a watch. It's probably mostly like fantasy than horror, but like I said, because it's got some of those horror elements in there, it's just perfect for Halloween. Now the other one is also like a medieval, fantasy type film. I don't want to spoil anything actually, so I'll just still stick with fantasy. But this one has more horrific elements than Solomon Kane, but both make a good watch, and maybe even a double bill. Is Black Death, starring Sean Bean, Eddie Redmayne, and Carice Van Houten, which I believe that's this lady right here. She was tremendous in that role that she plays. She's well, what it is, there's this plague that's going on, and I hope I'm not mistaking this for Season of the Witch, which is another one. I don't have it, but that's another one that's good to watch during this Halloween season. That's right, Season of the Witch. Not the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, but that makes a good one as well. Um, but I'm talking about the one starring Ron Perlman and Nick Cage, which I absolutely love Nicolas Cage. Um, but let's see, both deal with like the Black Death plague. You know what? That it actually makes a good triple bill. Season of the Witch, Black Death, and Solomon Kane. Yeah, why not? But it deals with the Black Death, and there's a village that has been untouched by this plague. So Sean Bean and a crew of people are sent in to try to figure out what makes this village so special. So he goes to this monastery and he recruits Eddie Redmayne's character, who's a aspiring priest. And they go to this village, and along the way they encounter some ruffians that try to like rob them. And they dispatch them. And when they get to this village, they find out that they're really, really strange people there. That in their ways, like they have renounced all religion. They don't believe in any religion. Matter of fact, they only believe in Carice Van Houten's character. So, and these folks, like Sean Bean's character and his crew, they're very religious. Like I think they're very heavy Catholic. So there's a scene where they're praying at the table and they just don't, they're actually, the village is actually offended by that. So really, really good stuff. And there's a twist involved in this film that is absolutely horrific. And matter of fact, it changes one of the characters for the worse. I think it's almost like this is what began, that like the start of like the Salem witch trials, I guess. So yeah, Black Death. Okay, so a couple of films that you may want to give a second chance to, a second watch. Well, the first one, I already have the review for this from last year. I had to double check and make sure I did it, and I did. But I'll talk about it briefly and just give it a second review. I give it a strong 4 stars. Or I'm sorry, a generous 4 stars, but I'll be honest with you. I saw it again last night, and that's Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, Guillermo del Toro's presents. Not directed by him, though. It was directed by someone named Troy Nixey. Katie Holmes and Guy Pearce, but I think her name is Bailey Madison. Yeah, she's the one who was the little girl in this film. She was tremendous in that role. Her and Katie Holmes, I'll be honest with you, were the real show stealers in this one, as well as all the little. Well, I don't want to spoil it, just in case for you folks who haven't seen it. But let's just say the trailer made it out to be something that it really wasn't, and maybe that's why a lot of folks didn't really care for it so much. I know my cousin didn't really care for it as much. He thought it was going to be something different than what it was. But it turned out what was haunting this place is something totally different. But it doesn't distract from the fact that this is a tremendously great film. I mean, really, it's rooted in fairy tale with a horrific twist to it. Really, really good one. Katie Holmes and Bailey Madison, like I said, are the real show stealers. Guy Pearce is good too, but he's more of like on the sidelines, and he's that kind of character that just doesn't believe what's going on and tries to find logical explanations as to what is going on. Bailey Madison's the one that's seeing these things, and she's under this medication. I think it's I think it's Adderall. And when Katie Holmes asked, well, what pills is she on? And then he goes, Adderall. And she's like, Jesus, for just a little girl, I mean, look at her. So yeah, don't be afraid of the dark. Give it another watch. Keep an open mind when you watch it, and just don't expect it to be what trailers showcased it to be. And the other one to give another watch to, and I've talked about this a couple times already, is Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, this is not really a remake. I don't even know what I guess it's just the other phase to it, and I love this 3D lenticular. If you can see that, kind of pops out. I love that. Okay, so give this one a watch, and I've mentioned this before. Aaron Pin agrees. It is a story about family, which kind of seems to have gotten lost, I guess, in like sequels and maybe even like ripoffs of it. You know, kind of like how there's Conan ripoffs. They have like ripoffs like this. What's one of them? Kind of like Hills Have Eyes and things of that nature. Um, or like, you know, more particularly the style that it was that they're trying to go for, like with the remakes of, you know, Hills Has Eyes. This one takes it back, and this is like a newer one. You know, it's not like one that was made from like, you know, the original, back in the day when these kinds of films were being made. And well, I don't really want to spoil anything. Let's just say that um, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. There's a twist with one of the characters, and this is a pretty graphic film, especially compared to the first one that, you know, where everything is mostly implied. You don't really see any like the chainsaw cutting into anyone and limbs flying. This one you actually do. There is actually one scene where one of the characters is being hung by the hook, and Leatherface comes up to him with the chainsaw and cuts him, you know, from the torso, you know, cuts him in half, and you see it. So give this one another watch, guys, and just keep in mind, okay, when you watch it, uh, think to yourself, it's a film about family, the bonds of family, and just, you know, don't look at it as, I guess, like good and evil. Just look at it as family. Okay, so there you go, Texas Chainsaw. Um, okay. Now, when you go over to like Walmart, I think even Best Buy might have it. Target has these things, these compilation sets, and Aaron Pin showcased the 8-film movie pack, which has Chopping Mall. It has Class of 1999, which I have that one as well, and I love it. But here's another one that I recommend getting, and it's the Hillbillies and Hatchet. I got this one a couple years ago at Walmart. I don't know if they'll bring it out again, you know, every Halloween. But this has 13 movies, and what's one that Brian said he saw, and he recommended it. Um, I can't remember what it was. It was one that he said to watch off of the set. Teen Allure, Teen Fight Club. I really can't remember what it was, guys. Um, Might have been Mother's Day Massacre. I'm not too sure, but one of these he really recommended watching. But I've haven't seen any of these films yet, but I don't think I have. But there was one that Brian recommended, and this is one that I do want to give a watch for this Halloween season. I guess I'm just recommending it. It's not, you know, I'm not recommending it because I've seen any of these films, but, or have I? How the fuck I bring this out? I guess I just want to showcase that, you know, you don't want to neglect, you know, these type of compilation packs, you know, because you got some good stuff on here. I should have brought out the other one, you know, the 8-pack, the one where I've seen like almost every film off this one, off of that one, not this. But, you know, Brian did recommend that there was a film on here that was really, really good. But, you know, get something like this, okay? You know, Venom, that's a popular one, okay? But, so yeah, so get these packs. You can pick it up for like $5 at like Walmart. Okay, next up, you don't want to neglect your Corman films. And I got some over here to showcase that you might want to, you know, check out for this Halloween season. Uh, Even science fiction horror too, like Event Horizon and stuff like that, which is, that's not Corman. But one of these films is almost like an Event Horizon type film, and it came out before Event Horizon. And okay, well, one of them is, and I know this is Hin's, one of Hin's favorite Corman films, because into like sharks and you know, the sea life, is piranha. Okay, now this is a good one. It's about this, the military had experimented on these piranhas, turning them into like these mutant piranhas, and the facility shut down. And these two teenagers go in there, and they take a swim. They were killed by the piranhas, and someone released the lever and let loose the piranhas into the open, you know, out into the open stream, or you know, the sea, I guess. So that's what this is about. So piranha is a good one. The next one, this is the one I was talking about that's almost like Event Horizon, and that is Galaxy of Terror. This has Sid Haig, Robert Englund. You know, these are like early roles for them. Aaron Moran. Who else? There's a babe in here too. What is her name? Yeah, Taffy O'Connell. See, bad with names, but Taffy O'Connell. Let's just say something happens to her that this was very, very controversial, I guess, during the time. And when you watch special features, you'll hear about it. And there was actually more footage to it, but they cut it out in order to get this R rating. Otherwise, it would have been like an X rating. There's a scene that deals with this giant maggot, and it actually rapes. It rapes her, and kills her through that. Now it's sure, okay. You know, I hate that. You know, I hate like rape scenes and stuff like that. But at the same time, because this was just like a rubber thing, I guess there was something, and it was like real slime, real slimy, covering her body in slime and absolutely naked. There's something kind of erotic about it. You have to see it. I know, before you judge me and think I'm a sick man, it's something that you absolutely have to watch, okay, and see this film. But it's almost like an Event Horizon thing. The planet can kind of read your thoughts and test what your fears are. And I better get moving because this is going on far too long than what I want it to be. But basically, it kills you that way. Oh shit, and I got a bunch more to still show. Okay, Humanoids from the Deep, another thing where the government had experimented on these kind of sea creatures, and now they want to breed with the women. Okay, good stuff. And I think it was who composed it? John Williams, or not John Williams, but James Horner. Okay, he did the soundtrack for this one. Very good. Forbidden World, I only seen this one time, but this is almost like an Alien type ripoff film. Still a very good one. It stars June Chadwick from V. Okay, let me, you know what, let me move some of this stuff because it's getting, the pile is getting a little bit too high. Okay. Okay. You might also want to mix things up with an anthology horror. And as far as I know, I think I only have 3 anthology horrors. There's actually, I think, another one that Aaron Pinn sent to me. Night Train to Terror. One that I'm going to absolutely see. This is the reason why I didn't do reviews from you, Aaron, is because I was holding out for Halloween. Save it for that. But anyways, Trick or Treat. It's a good one, you know, and that's good old Sam Hain on the front cover there. Someone that I think Michael Myers worships, that guy. He wrote the name in, I think, in Halloween 2, like on the board. I can't remember what the relevance of that was. But yeah, this is an anthology horror. All the stories in there, absolutely rock solid. Stars Anna Paquin, Dylan Baker, Rochelle Aites, Leslie Bibb, yeah, Brian Cox. Okay, I don't want to get too much into what they are, but just all the stories in there are gold. And who doesn't know Creepshow? Okay, this is an excellent one. One that's pretty sick too is like, you know, the cockroach ones. There's one with a young Leslie Nielsen and what's that guy's name? Oh, geez. Ted Danson. Yeah, that's a really good one. I can hold my breath for a very long time. Okay. And I can't wait for this one for Scream Factory to put this out. I think it's coming out in November or December. But the Blu-ray of this one, and it's exactly these 2 films, Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horrors. Tom Baker is in this one, whom everyone knows from Doctor Who. I know him from one of these anthologies. I can't remember which one it was. You know what? It might have been the episode with the painter's hand. I could be wrong though, where he paints and whatever he paints it comes true and can kill you that way. But this is a really good one, and mind you, this is 2 films in here, and there's 2 discs. See, really good stuff, guys. Okay, you want to mix it up with some cheesy things like Hollywood Chainsaw Massacre. And things like the Mystery Science Theater, like this one, or if you have like any of those box sets, give those a watch, put that into your rotation. And while you're watching any of these or any of the stuff that you would normally watch, like the like the Child's Play, or the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Streets, mix it up with things like the Munsters, okay, or maybe like the Witchblade, or Witchblade. That's a TV show. But watch things like Casper, which I still have to get on Blu-ray, or it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, which I have on Blu-ray somewhere, and Garfield Holiday Celebrations, which has what is it? A Garfield's Halloween Adventure. Okay, mix it up in there, so it's not like all just straight horror or all just horror comedy, but mix in some kid stuff in there as well. Aaron Pin recommended like Goosebumps, so that's great. So that's really it. So just stuff that you might want to consider putting into your horror Halloween rotation that you may not have thought about, and things that you might want to give a second chance to. Mix it up with kid-friendly stuff as well, even though you're an adult, but come on, at heart, we're all always just still kids, right? At least I know in any case. So there we go. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to the Globe. Subscribe to everyone involved in the Globe. Be safe and happy Halloween.